After Christmas in 2024, my grandmother was hospitalized again because of a blood clot. She had always struggled with thick blood, so this wasn't entirely new, but this time was worse. Normally, I was the one who drove my grandparents to appointments, but I was away for New Year's, so my younger brother took her instead. She ended up staying in the hospital for weeks after surgery on her leg. And since my grandfather was too afraid to drive into the city alone, we started taking him to visit her twice a week. I didn't mind. It felt like the right thing to do after everything they had done for us growing up. One day in February, while I was home cooking for my boyfriend who had just had surgery, my grandfather came by just to make a phone call to my grandma. It struck me as odd because he lived with other family members, but I didn't question it much at the time. He mentioned having a headache, and something about it stayed with me. The next day, my parents rushed him to the hospital with stroke symptoms. It turned out to be his fourth stroke. Around the same time, my grandmother finally came home, but not for long. She pushed herself too hard trying to fix up the house for his return and ended up back in the hospital with a severe complication that led to surgery and a coma. While she was unconscious, my uncle's wife kept calling my mom, telling her there was no hope and that we should prepare for a funeral. But when my dad contacted the hospital himself, doctors said my grandmother was actually improving. Then, suddenly my uncle called and told my dad to take my grandmother in when she was discharged.